Hello Helldivers, Thornton here, and well, it's been about 5 months now since we got the introduction of the first ever vehicle into the game, not counting the mechs. The FRV is what I'm talking about, but the question is, where are the rest of the vehicles? We have gameplay footage that we're going to go over today about the actual new vehicles coming in, but are we going to see more, like maybe even the motorcycle from Helldivers 1? We're going to go over all of that, but without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. So it has been about 5 months since we got the introduction of the FRV, like I said in the intro, and since then, well, we haven't seen much in terms of big updates. That being said, Ironsights just gave us a bunch of information letting us know that there is a large wave of development testing going on right now, likely gearing up for a large update soon, which makes sense because, well, like I said, when the FRV was introduced, that was the last big update, and so with another big one coming in, we're going to go ahead and look at some vehicles that could be coming right after the FRV that we might be able to toy around with when this update does drop, probably in the next couple of weeks, maybe even sooner. Such as an extraction one, which Ironsight showed here, actually talks about the Colony Rover, which has been data mined for a while. We know that they were moved over to the dev build, but it looks like it's going to be an evacuate civilians mission, very similar to the ones where we go ahead and get them on the shuttles or on the doors on the bases. Now, along with the orbital cannons, there's also war crimes being committed by the automatons. Once again, coming from asunder in the data mine files, it seems that the automatons are processing large quantities of organic polynucleotides at a facility which they use to construct their nanoscale body armor. Liberate these assets and we can use it to protect defenders of democracy instead of heartless metallic killers. Right below that is actually the hive breaker drill objective, which we've already seen. That one's already in the game, but I don't believe the polynucleotides is yet in the game, along with the atmospheric neurotoxin gas. I could be wrong once again, but it is interesting to see more stuff come into the game with mission types like that, as there is also game files for a proto-illuminate VIP where we have to make sure it gets onto the shuttle home. Once again, it'd be interesting to see the Colony Rover come to the game where we have to transport it. There's a black box of experimental lightship Helvita that has been located on a glacier after the ship disappeared into hyperspace. The box contains invaluable data that could allow our scientists to crack the hyperdrive technology, potentially allowing jump-capable nuclear warheads. Once again, we are getting a ton of weapons of mass destruction with these mission types, and I can't wait to see all the carnage that we are able to unleash, once again, in democracy's name. But that's not all Helldivers, because according to some stuff found in the files by Ironsights, it's going to get even crazier with the vehicles we'll be seeing in the future. There is a player camera variables for flying vehicles. That is correct. Flying vehicles look like they're on the way, some form or another. I actually reached out to Ironsights and he was nice enough to explain vehicles, or at least the flying ones, and what we knew so far. They have their own unique camera controls, he let me know, and it's kind of like how when you enter a mech, the camera perspective changes from the default, and that means that we may be able to use flying vehicles at some point as they have unique camera values. This is actually pretty interesting. We've known of a couple other vehicles so far. So the big one that I am the most excited for that I want to start off with is actually going to be the Bastion tank. Now, if you haven't followed Ironsights on Twitter, highly recommend you do, because he did show us the Bastion tank render right here, and this is going to be a super Earth vehicle that has some quite strong firepower to it. They were also able to show us this in-game with the model, so you can see it right here. Overall, it's not a huge vehicle, not as big as you would think a tank is, but there was some gameplay actually uploaded by Experimental Division on YouTube, who was able to do the Bastion projectiles in game to show the firepower of it. If you haven't checked out his channel, highly recommend it. He has some good quality videos on there, but I'll go ahead and play the gameplay right here so you can see just how powerful this tank is when we get it. So obviously the tank seems absolutely fantastic. It might be a while before we get it, or might be sooner than we think, because, well, we've been getting wrecked by the automatons and their Barrier tanks. If you haven't run into these in game, they're an absolute nightmare to play against and very strong, so it would be nice though that we get some of our own firepower to go ahead and fight against them. Now, along with that, there are going to be some other vehicles that are just regular rudimentary ones. That Ironsights went over is the Colony Rover. It is a super Earth vehicle and may be able to be driven by players. It has driving properties very similar to with the Recon one we have right now. You can see the Rover on certain missions already in the game, but it's destroyed. This is a vehicle from Helldivers 1. This would make sense as an escort mission. Maybe we do drive it and we have to get it to a certain location, or maybe we just have to defend it. But more vehicles, like I said, seem to be on the way. An APC. I'll go ahead and show some of the gameplay right here in the background, but this thing is a lot bigger than the current Recon one we have, and is definitely more going to be an offensive force. It is bulky, tanky, and also has a turret on the top. This one looks like a ton of fun, and personally, I think this is the one that I'm most excited to come into the game after the tank. And those are the three main new vehicles that we can be looking forward to now that we know that Arrowhead is completely capable of putting them into the game. Although there was a comment the other day asking about Thief Troopers, and it's been known for a very long time that we are going to be getting AI teammates as what looks to be a platoon stratagem when the platoon system is finally ready to roll out. I am going to go ahead and show you guys some gameplay of how the AI teammates kind of function in game, and you also get a look at some of the upcoming vehicles. I'll go ahead and play the gameplay clip right here.
Democracy at any cost.
宠物里边没拍着。快让我看看，哪儿呢哪儿呢？美国伞兵是吗？还真他妈给呀！我操了，这是什么啊？还真是啊！前面有，前面有。你妈这月球漫步呢，这鱼竿搁在这儿，还有拿机枪的，还有拿步枪的。我就好奇这东西能打死队友，能打死自己人。但是他为啥悬浮着走？可以呢，可以呢，我觉得还可以，打铜还可以。死了一个。哎，两口就死了，太棒了。哎，打铜咱可以啊，枪法挺好。别走，我来了。那虫子，哎，坦克，快跑，快跑！先走！哎呀，没进去。
Let me know down below, what are your guys' thoughts on some of the vehicles coming in, and which one do you think would be the most instrumental in helping us take down the foes of managed democracy? Also, don't forget to check out this video right here where I do cover more news on Helldivers 2 on the daily to keep you guys updated and what's going on in the game. And as always, thank you for stopping by and keep spreading managed democracy.